It was okay. It was, you know Kate from our group? She's one of the geologists. Today's her last day. Yeah.
Oh, she's done well.
She wants to she's not in our group anymore. She's moving to the Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
She's staying with us, but yeah, we all kind of head out to order time. It was lunch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna open up the planning board meeting, 6 o'clock, so that works out perfect. First thing we'll do is look at the minutes of the meeting for January 6th. See if those have any questions from anyone, and if we wanna accept those.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for January 6th, was it?
January 13th.
I'll second it.
James the 13th.
Oh,
The minutes are for
January.
the 6th. Yeah, for the 6th, 13th.
Any second?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. So next part of business, we've got a public hearing, and we have Summit Ridge Energy here that's going to talk about the solar project they've got going on Aparo Road. So we'll hear from you guys as far as any changes and different things there, and then we will open it up if there's any questions or comments from the public.
Hi everybody, my name is Aparo from Summit Ridge Energy. I'm a Senior Director of Development for the Northeast. Want to thank everyone for the time. Glad to be back in front of the board. So I won't grandstand for a long time. You know, we were here last time. We all went over the project, but I just want to do a very brief overview. Turn over to Heather from TRC. He's going to talk about the natural resources for a bit, parts of the project, and then turn over to Todd Daniels, also from TRC, who's a civil engineer, to talk about the changes in clearing. Those changes were a result of the site walk that everyone went on, and based on comments back from the planning board, we felt that we could, meet what everyone wanted to kind of give more of a buffer on that western edge. So I feel like our team did a good job in doing that in a creative way, and I hope you all agree. But just to recap. The project is located off of Main Street here on the McNally property and another parcel owned by S&K. It's approximately 1.625 megawatt AC, so it's on the smaller side for some of the projects you see around there these days. The actual fence area is approximately 9.5, 10 acres. And then the approximate limited disturbance, which is the total project area inclusive of access road, clearing expense, is about 18, 19 acres, give or take. So as you can see, the access road is actually currently existing. We're going to repurpose that, enter the site here. These are all the rows of panels, which are on single axis trackers. Fence encompassing the totality of the project with a gap to let critters go in and out of the, so Jews typically they don't go in there, but allow that. The site itself is relatively flat, which is great, meaning minimal earthwork. And right now, if approved, our intention would be to ideally start construction sometime in, call it June, July, summertime, time frame, give or take. Because the project has no wetlands on it, we don't need any discretionary DEP permits. Everything is associated with DEP can be a permit by rule. So that's just a quick encapsulation of the project, and then I'll let Tom get into the details. But as you can see in this green area here, this is the major change to the project. We're really the only change since last time, which is giving a larger buffer to the residential neighbors on the western edge. So I'm happy to answer any questions about the project that you might have. Otherwise, I'll turn it over to Heather to talk about the natural resources of the area.
Could I have a map number?
Yeah.
R10 Lot 51, U42 Lot 2. Correct.
Okay, R10 Lot 51, and what was the other one?
U42 Lot 2.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'll turn over to Heather from TRC.
Well, again, Heather Storlazziward, TRC. I am a permit lead and also wetland scientist. Site, as far as natural resources go, it's a little bit boring. You probably remember from the last time, we talked a little bit about TRC, wetland scientists went on site, did a natural resource survey. We look at wetlands, we look at vernal pools, we look at streams. Didn't find anything at all as far as protected natural resources. We did reach out to Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife for any rare species, and none are known on site. Our scientists on site at the time, actually it was me and a coworker, we didn't know any rare species either. We also reached out to Maine Natural Areas Program, and they are a database for tracking rare plants in natural communities that are exemplary, and they don't have anything mapped. And again, scientists on site did not see any rare plants or rare communities. We also do some consultation with the state historic preservation and no cultural sensitivity on the site. So those are all good. So just to recap, the site doesn't require any permitting from the DEP for natural resources, no Army Corps permitting, no wetland impacts at all. There's nothing on site as far as protected resources. So it's a little bit boring of a site in terms of that regard, but there it is for natural resources.
Any questions from the board at all at this point?
Pretty flat site, right?
It's a flat site, yeah, minimal grading like Bennett said. We do have a stormwater PBR permit by rule with the state. It's a 14-day
I was
review.
gonna ask about drainage. Maybe sit over there and answer that more. What's up here?
Yep.
Runoff goes and stuff like that. Where's the water going? You put any detention ponds or whatever?
No, so as you said, the site really is quite flat. There's a little bit of topography up in this end, but by and large, it's well within the racking tolerances. You know, really, it's like 1 or 2% slope across this whole site, all well-drained A soils. So we provided a pre and post-development hydrologic analysis to show no increase in rate of runoff. So no structural stormwater BMPs are required, and we already have our stormwater PBR. And as far as, upgrades to this road, it's an existing road. We want to propose a little bit of upgrade, resurfacing and regrading just to crown it and make it drive a little better. And then we've got a new turnaround. So really not much going on from a site delivery perspective here.
So we're making sure no water's going on a piece of flooding landowners. Stuff like that.
Correct. There's no concentrated discharge that's going to maintain sheet flow as before. And, this facility will be required to have, well-established meadow ground cover and use maintained twice per year. So that's all in the second operation maintenance plan.
So it's a very breakable.
Very,
Type A.
all type A soils, well drained. Just for reference, we modeled the site up to the 50-year storm, which isn't a requirement. That's what we had to do to actually show some runoff to
Do
the site.
you recall what the restricted layer depth was?
Well, more than 80 inches. And then, as we discussed, as mentioned before, so the western property line, there were some concerns with these butters down on Eastfield Road. So what we're proposing as the 25-foot vegetative buffer is to leave the existing trees for the first 10 feet, and then do selective, vegetation management clearing only of trees taller than 12 feet. So, that's basically what our shading analysis shows is required to not shade the panels, and then that will, be maintained to provide adequate screening. The panels won't be taller than 12 feet, so as long as those layer maintained, there shouldn't be obtrusive visible.
I just have to notice a very small coding, LOD, is that limits of something?
Limits of disturbance.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so our LOD, and that's what the state looks at as far as our occupied area for site law requirements. So we're below 20 there, which keeps us under a stormwater PBR.
There's no legend on it, so I assume that's the fence that with the little circles and the.
Yeah, the legends on sheet G2, I think we just do one legend on
Second one, yeah. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, so lines with the circles is the.
I kind of picked up on that.
Yeah.
Just wasn't sure.
Okay. All right, so what we will do right now is open up any questions to the public. Maybe if I can get one of you guys to just slide that sign over so we can see who's behind there.
And if you could state your name if you have a question.
I'm Linda Berry, I live at 223 Fleetfield Road. My biggest question is, when I bought the property, I had most of my land cleared, so I'm curious how close to my property line from behind you'll be coming.
We have a visual to show you exactly that, actually.
Can I,
Yes, absolutely.
Which number was yours?
223?
And your name was?
Linda
51C.
Berry. So I'm here.
So, your house is right there, so 466 feet from your house, and then I would say that that's about 100 feet, you go to 75 feet from your property line, the closest.
That'll be the closest, so you won't be cutting down anything over 12
Right,
feet
so-
from here out?
So there's gonna be a 25-foot swath along this whole boundary, so it'll be 10 feet, we won't touch, and then the next 15 feet, we're only gonna take anything taller than 12, and then the rest is gonna be cut.
Great. Thank you.
Any other comments?
I'm kind of curious, what's this gonna do for the town of Oxford? I mean, it's not bringing any jobs in, I'm sure you got your own construction crew. So is it, we gonna get a power, or we get, I mean,
So, yeah, great question. So, we don't have our own construction company, we have our own construction internal team that manages construction. We will hire, what we call an EPC, which is a general contractor. Typically, and ideally, we do hire sub-vendors from the area, so tree clearing, civil work, electrical work. Anytime we use local labor, we do, and that's something that I stand by. So, it will create some jobs, they're obviously temporary jobs. And then, the power is gonna be sold as community power. So what happens is it flows out to the grid, and then people can sign up through what's called aggregators to buy power from this site or others at a discounted rate, get, clean power, but more importantly for them, they get a discount rate of 10-15%, whatever it might be, they normally pay.
how do you sign up for that? I mean, I have CMP and I live way over here, close
Yeah.
to Otis.
We'll get you signed up in 2 seconds. We don't do it personally, but there's companies called aggregators. So there's one called Arcadia. If you go to the website, you can go and sign up, and they'll put you in touch with a project to get you that. And there's another one called Ampion. Those are the two big ones, and there's a few. But I'll give you my card, and you can feel free to give me a shout.
Yeah, people from Oxford can get into it and save, because obviously CMP's fixing to go up $30 a month.
You got it. Yeah.
As long as there's something to gain for the town of Oxford.
Yes, I mean, I can't guarantee you're gonna be plugged into this one, because what they do is they plug into a project in CMP territory. But this project will go to any residential customers in the state in CMP territory that want to participate.
A temporary job and a chance to have lesser utility.
Correct. Plus, we're upgrading the grid anywhere that, there's some pretty good three-phase in the street already, but any reconductoring or new poles, we pay, the project pays for that, pays CMP for the privilege of interconnecting, and then they'll upgrade the whole area of three-phase there, so it is beneficial in that sense.
Okay. But I didn't know if you guys are just collecting and scooping. I wanted to make sure it was something that was gonna be beneficial for the town of Oxford and people of it.
Yeah, fair enough. And we are the long-term owners, so we build the project, we own the project through the lifespan, and ultimately we'll decommission, dismantle the project, and restore the site to existing conditions.
Fair enough, thank you.
Thank you.
You own the other site in Oxford?
No. I can tell you the company does, though.
Okay. Public hearing. Everybody's all set?
Well, I do. I'm over behind the sign now. I mean, I know you guys probably have this question asked to you 100 times. What does that do to the real estate end of our property that abuts it I mean, quiet neighbors are meant, don't get me wrong.
Can you state your name?
Oh, Chris Nelson. I live at 187 Steepville Road. I would just, that would be my main concern at that point, is just what to do to the real estate to that chunk of that property. Because I remember when I first bought, I bought from the university that owned that whole chunk there, and that money was getting donated to whatever fund that was back in maybe early 2000s. But my concern, my only really main concern is just what's that going to do to my real estate on the property value of my house being a butter to this.
Sure, I'd be happy to answer from my own experience. So I've been in solar for 10 years now. I've developed in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maine, other markets. I've had real estate experts run appraisals on this exact scenario, and their findings show that there's no effect on abutting property values whatsoever. Additionally, being in a mixed-use area with, you got the speedway and you got everything else going on, our feeling is that this would fit in nicely with surrounding business going on. So I can honestly say that based on my experiences, there should be no effect to real estate value whatsoever. It's a very quiet neighbor. There's
Oh, yeah.
no noise. It's very passive. There's no one on site, no lights, anything like that. So essentially, we're taking vacant land that's been vacant for a while, repurposing it for a good use, and that's something that I stand by.
Okay. So we're gonna close the public hearing now, so we won't be able to take any more comments from you. If we have any other questions, we'll do that, and then we will vote. So do we have any questions whatsoever?
Chris, right?
Yes.
Hey, I'm Ben. So if you have any questions, give me a ring.
Yeah.
It
Thank
will
you.
be asked.
Clean energy, there's no noise involved.
It's just an eyesore.
Well,
You
you
won't
won't
see it.
even know it.
You won't see it.
We took a sidewalk and 90% of those folks, and I was very, very concerned about that.
You just see the,
But their lots are very deep and over 400 plus deep. The closest house, I guess, some of the house might be by the time you get to and then there's going to be a buffer. And then there's going to be another buffer that's not going to be chopped with trees, anything above 12 feet. So 12 feet is pretty high, it's probably as high as the ceiling almost. Get a picture that they won't be cutting anything less than 12 feet. So there's a great buffer there.
The houses probably
I
wouldn't be
think
able
they're
to see
really
it.
taking consideration. And that was on our recommendation too on our sidewalk, that they could get more buffer, try to. And they did, they came back to it with us, and I feel that they did a good deal with diligence in trying to protect the neighborhood.
One is great. I went to Portland yesterday.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
something else.
That's
yeah.
kind of
There's no place to hide that one.
true.
I haven't seen that.
But there's no houses right there.
It's,
On
when
the
you
new
head to the
26.
turnpike, instead of going into Gray,
Yeah.
and you go into the turnpike.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that
Through
whole,
the middle of the
yeah.
two.
Yeah, the whole fourth side
The
of
bypass,
26A.
great bypass,
Yeah.
and the turnpike, yeah. I noticed
Yeah,
they
I
put
don't
it
think
in
you'll
actually.
even see this if you're on 26, because it's
No,
out
you have to
behind,
really,
so.
you might, but you
Not
have to
gonna-
rubberneck really hard to do it.
Yeah.
And then you'd probably be in danger of yourself
Right.
and others.
All right, well, it's gonna be hidden, and we can maybe get a couple of dollars, and
There's the one down at the corner, number 6 road, it's right there.
yeah, that was before when I came on board.
Right,
and
I
that-
understand, me too, it was approved before I came on board, so.
Well, don't
Not
leave,
much
don't
else you
leave
can do
Cam
there.
hanging like that.
I know, not much else you can do with that property, so,
Right, it is true.
Wetland.
it's.
It is. That's why when they cleared it, they were gonna, the bear wanted to bring the one he had in Loudon, he wanted to bring there, and then the
Yeah.
Grateful Dead kind of changed that scenario of wanting to have the Loudon Speedway there.
I think the business park sign's still standing too.
It is,
Yeah.
it is,
I mean, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I can see when stuff stays soaked all year round.
yeah.
with a high water table.
All right, well, if we can get a motion for this project and a second, we can finish up.
I make a motion that we pass the solar panel on Route 26. I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor? All right.
To refer
Thank
to
you
it
very much.
as an array.
Thank you all.
Sorry it
The
took us
solar
so
array,
long,
yeah.
but
Or you can call it solar
technical
project. Yeah.
difficulties,
Yeah,
so-
that's all right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, appreciate it.
Thank you all very much, appreciate it.
Thank
Coming
you.
out.
I'm sure we'll be in touch when we get closer to construction.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Yeah.
Is there anything on here we have to sign?
I didn't find it back, so I'll get with you on that.
You don't need the originals. But I'll sign them and send it back to you, you don't need the originals.
Not really. I mean, if you have it, I can put it in the file. That'd be great. Yeah, thank you for that. If I could just today use that for it.
Kingston, if I could.
You gonna drive back now?
Oh, yeah, always. My next
We don't even have
one.
to for an hour?
Yeah, my next one, that's a good night down.
All right.
Yes,
You know,
it is, it's true. It's
Here,
true, it's really better than the
I'll
other.
second it.
And,
Yeah.
I'm going back up to Winslow and,
Oh, yeah.
Winston,
Oh, yeah.
but.
Should be in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If
Oh, yeah.
you want, no, I was gonna say, it's always good to try to call off. If you want me to email you, I mean, they're big files, if you want me to email you, send
I will
plans.
leave it.
No, I'll be negotiating. I'm one of those ones, like, usually two or four side by side over the place.
Do you know Steve, the McNally, the property owner?
Technically,
Well, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Yes, no, you'll be fine.
All right.
so next meeting should be
That whole route stays open.
this
where you
time,
got through
correct?
that, so.
Kingston?
I don't, hold on.
And as far as we're concerned, it's not my property, but as long as you're not in the fence area, doesn't bother me.
27.
No, I'll be outside of that.
Technically, the 6th was a special meeting.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one was special, 6 or
Yeah.
28. So potentially.
Let me know if you want me to put a good word in.
Typically, we meet.
Oh, no,
unless
yeah.
you've got a lot on the
You
agenda.
know,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's good.
There is
I like
something
it.
coming down the pipe and it's ordinance, and I believe the selectmen, once they see it.
No, I just wanted to see he had the black and white little one. And,
Yeah. Yeah, you want,
no, that was good.
Okay.
I just knew my house out of all of them would be the closest, and I didn't know exactly.
Still pretty far away,
Yeah,
yeah.
still almost
Yeah, we
far.
did it purpose that way as much as possible.
Right,
Yeah, mine's still
the
close.
second would be,
To be the quietest neighbor you have.
Yeah.
but we moved it around.
All right, team, you got everything?
I think so.
I will take a copy.
Yeah.
You got it.
on that.
Let me give out my last one. Ah,
Just give me a name, rank, and serial
I
number.
got one left for you. It's meant to be. All right, thanks very much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Rollering.
Are they still talking temporarily doing the next?
The whole thing too.
We have three kind of.
Oh, 3 options?
Three kind of locations.
We're good. We got big holes.